What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Meant to jump on here a few minutes earlier, but I'm early by my normal standards, man. So we early. It's like 8 minutes. It's like 8:12, 12 minutes after 8, man, where I'm at, man. How many times have y'all ever seen me? Ain't too many times I got on this early, man. So y'all should give me some props for that. But we got a topic tonight based on something that somebody else brought up the other night, but we'll withhold all of the meat and potatoes until uh, we get some people in the building. Y'all click the like button as y'all come in the door. Wipe your feet at the door and click that like for your big brother, man. And we will get straight into it. I appreciate y'all on this Sunday. Wasn't able to. I meant to get on yesterday, but yesterday was a long day. But y'all click the like button as y'all come in, man. I mean, click the like button as y'all come in. Thank y'all to that. Thank you to that one person who did it. I appreciate that. Uh, y'all see the topic that we on, and for some people who read that title, y'all might view that as to be a dumb question. It might be viewed as a dumb question in either direction. The topic says, should we love our enemies? And there are people who might say, psh, that's a dumb question. Of course we should. And there's other people that might say, psh, that's a dumb question. Of course we shouldn't. And people will have different reasons why they should or shouldn't, or why you should or shouldn't, or why they do or do not. So we'll cover all that, and then we'll get into what I think. Well, you'll hear what I think as we go along. It's probably no surprise and no mystery to what my view is on this, especially to those of y'all in here who are familiar with my music. If y'all listen to my music, then no big reveal. Y'all probably already know how I feel about it, man. Let me start by letting y'all know that I'm probably not gonna be as animated as I normally am, even though I'm laid back. I'm not animated like that anyway. But man, my back is messed up. I messed my back up earlier today or yesterday. I can't remember, but I messed my back up, man. So my back is really jacked up, man. I'm walking like an old man. I'm walking like Air Gordon. Yeah, my back is jacked up, man. So the slightest hitch, if I stand up the wrong way or if I turn my body the wrong way, my back is gonna be hurting really bad. So I can't make any sudden sit ups. I'm not gonna be raising up to tighten nothing in, uh, because if I move up too far or go back too far, go to the right or to the left, y'all might see me just go and I don't want y'all to see me just react like that. Very funny, Ben. Very funny, Ben. I saw that. I caught that. I may need to get my back cracked, man, because my back is jacked up right now, bro. It's really jacked up, man. But I'm gonna start working on it as soon as I'm done. I appreciate the love, man. But yeah, let's get into this topic. A lot of the thought process that goes in. Well, first of all, let me define what the word enemy is, because I looked it up. Just the definition of enemy, the modern definition of enemy. It says a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. I'm going to repeat that again. It says a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something, meaning that you are actively, that means you are going, it's an intentional effort, an intentional move to oppose someone or something, to go against, right? But it also says hostile, Hostile, hostile towards that someone or that something. That's when the word starts to really take shape. The understanding of the word should really start to take shape, because I can be opposed to someone or something. I can be opposed to an idea or philosophy that you may have, that person may have, but I may not be hostile towards it to where I'm angry or it's consuming me with anger, or I'm potentially violent towards that someone or something. But actively opposed also constitutes making attempts to shut down or thwart whatever it is you may be opposed to. So in that sense, that's an enemy. An enemy is trying to stop you from doing something that you want to do, but on that level that I just mentioned, on that hostile level. So that means that that person who feels this way towards you or the thing, they don't like that thing or that person. They may even hurt that thing or that person. So when you come to the question where people start to say, should you love your enemy? Or someone is actively telling you to love your enemy. And we'll go into Bible scriptures and all that. We'll go into that in a minute. It makes you think about this thing, or it should make you think about this thing from a few angles, from a few different angles than you may normally think about it from. Because one thing about an enemy, sometimes a person can be an enemy to you, but you're not an enemy to them. We can go all the way back to school. We can go all the way back to how somebody just didn't like you. And you've never done anything to that person to make, for them to not like you. You've never said nothing about them. You've never done anything to them. You had no issues with them. And in some cases, you're not even aware of the person. You may not even know that person exists. But from a distance, they're somewhere not liking you. Or even in some cases, they're somewhere hating you. They're seeing things that you do. They're seeing things that you have. They're seeing people that you love and people that love you and the way that they react towards you and respond to you. And for whatever reason, they are opposed to that. And as the definition of enemy just stated, they are actively opposed. So now they start doing things. They start saying things. And you know how when people in school say, well, man, why such and such don't like, man, I don't know why he don't like me. I ain't never did. I don't even know him. I don't even know her. How many of us have had that conversation with somebody? But that person is moving and behaving as an opposition to you, as an enemy to you. But you come into the recognition of it because you might not have known. So the point I'm making is you first have to recognize an enemy. Because if I don't know that you got a problem with me, then guess what? I may move blindly and put myself in a position where the enemy can get the jump on me in whatever way, right? Secondly, recognizing an internal enemy, right? Recognizing an internal enemy, meaning somebody within your circle, somebody that you would never suspect that would be an enemy. It would be your best partner that you grew up with, your homeboy that was your ace. You just, oh man, it's my guy. I would walk through hell with gasoline draws on to help this guy or whatever. Or it's your brother or sister that you grew up with, your blood brother or sister, grew up at the same house. It's your mother. Uh, it's your ex-husband, your ex-wife, and or it's your current husband or current wife. Y'all know I watch Discovery ID a lot, and most of the time you see these situations where these people get took out by their significant others, and it's like the dude, in some cases, sometimes he or she didn't get out. The person never saw it coming. It's like, wow, the person hated them all that time and they never knew it. And they set them up and they fell victim or whatever. So the toughest one, or one of the toughest ones, is recognizing that enemy that's within your own circle, that's in your own house. Some of us live with our enemies. Right now, you are living with your enemy or living among them. Maybe not in the same house, but you're in close proximity and you have consistent interactions with a person that you think is down with you, but they really despise you. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. And we find out down the line, or we find out by accident, that these people were in fact our enemies. Sometimes we find out that they had been working all along to do things to stop you from this or block you from that, or they've been talking about you, hating on you. And people won't necessarily categorize those people as enemies all the time. They may, oh man, I got haters, man. People be hating on me, man. People in my own family be hating on me. So we may use that term, which kind of lessens the I guess the definition, as opposed to saying enemy, when in fact they are moving like an enemy to you. They are doing enemy-like things. So if it walk like an enemy, it talk like an enemy, it act like one, then how would we categorize it? How would we define it? What would we define it as? See? And a lot of times we've had those friendships and those acquaintances and those relationships that have gone sour and they broke up, and years and years and years and years have passed. And they said, whatever happened to your boys? Oh man, I don't rock with them no more. Because they may have done something, or you may have done something. You might be the one. They're gonna just act like, we are the innocent ones. But on a bigger scale, there's a bigger enemy we'll get to towards the end. But a lot of times people will revert to certain scriptures, right? And they'll say, well, man, the Bible says to love your enemy. The Bible says, do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. If a man slaps you on one cheek, you should turn around and give him the other one and let him smack you on the other cheek. Now, this is in the scripture, but what we got to understand is a lot of things that are in the scripture, a lot of scriptures have been tampered with, changed, or the meaning has been made. The interpretation of those words or scriptures have been made to mean something else. They've been used to manipulate people in certain situations to get a certain result. But because all those things I just read off, sorry, I had a back tweak. But you say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Now think about that for a minute. It says, do good to those who hate you. All right, we're going to that. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who mistreat you. All right. I say to love your enemy, it goes against your very nature. It goes against your absolute, just your internal instincts to know definitively, not what I just said. We say, man, I didn't know who my enemy was. I thought this person was cool. No. Now I'm talking about someone who man, this dude tried to set my house on fire. This dude rigged up my ignition switch so when I turned my key, the car was going to blow up. This dude tried to drown my baby daughter. This lady, she tried to seduce my husband. And she did it on purpose. She was trying. This person got me fired from my job, and I was making $200,000 a year, and she lied on me and said this and said that and set me up and got me fired, and I lost everything. This is an enemy. These are enemies. So somebody says, love the person that would do things like that to you. This person tried to kill you. They tried to take you out. They didn't go around. They tried to take you out. Let me relax, man, because my back is, every time I talk loud, my back is hurting, y'all. Just bear with me. Can't hardly move right now. But this person is trying to take you out. So now there's somebody, that's a scripture saying you should love that person. Even if you try to. This is my guess, because I can't speak for y'all. But even if you try to, I believe that your attempt to love people who, the type of people I just described, that would do the types of things to you, that want to see you, that would love to see you dead, would love to see you suffering, love to see you miserable. Even if you faked it, if you tried to love them, it would be fake, it would be artificial. Because it's something in your nature that's just not gonna allow you to sincerely love your enemy. Why? Take the word, let's look at the word love. I defined enemy. I don't have the definition of the word love just handy with me. Let me sit up a little bit. I don't have the definition of the word love just sitting up in front of me. I would love for somebody to, I would love, no pun intended, for somebody to put it up and just type in the definition of love or one or two definitions of the word love. But I can guarantee you, whatever that definition of love is, the feeling that you have when you feel that word love is the exact opposite of what you would naturally feel towards a person who is Let me read the definition of enemy again. An enemy is someone who is actively opposing you, hostile towards you. You wouldn't be able to feel that feeling. So it's a contradiction. It's a conflict of interest for somebody to actually love their enemies. If I love you, then I don't even consider you an enemy. Even if I know what you did, because there are people in the world who can just be treated horribly by somebody. And that person's actions have shown the other person that they have no love for them. It's like, hey man, this person has done the worst of the worst to you. But that person who's been victimized like that, for some reason, they still have love for that person. So they find it hard to view them as an enemy, because maybe they known them in a different capacity. Maybe that person changed and they just can't believe that this is who that person is right now. So, man, I still got love for him. You're not considering that person an enemy, even though you're loving your enemy. But the person who understands, and it's like, oh, you know what? Nah, I know who I'm dealing with. I know how this person feels about me. I know what this person would do if given the opportunity. If I slip, if I get jammed up, if this person get any type of lane where he can do something detrimental, he's gonna do it. A person that I got to be looking out for. I got to be on my P's and Q's, watching my back. You can't love that person. You can't do it. That individual will not. That individual would not have love for that kind of person. Just won't do it. He can't. She can't. It's not in their heart. Let me sit up, y'all. It's not in their heart. Hey, man, I'm thugging it out, man. I'm thugging it out. Let this be an example to y'all. Sometimes, man, you got to dig deep. When you don't feel like getting it in, you got to still get it in. Because my back is messed up right now. And if it wasn't for those little faces that I make every now and then, y'all really wouldn't know how bad it is. But you can't, that person can't, because now I'm at war. I have to literally go into war mode. I have to literally go into defense mode, because a person is, remember the word in the definition, a person is actively, they are making moves. They're not just sitting around hating you. They are making moves. They are doing things, planning, plotting things. It's a difference. So now you have to become a soldier because you at war. Now, those of us who are spiritual / religious / believers in God and a higher power, we got to understand something too. God has declared in scriptures, right? And for somebody that might be just popping on here, never been on my channel before, never came on one of my lives before, and y'all might be hearing me for the first time, let me make something very clear. I'm not a minister. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to be a righteous, holy person, a righteous, holy individual. So when you hear me speak about God, when you hear me speak about scriptures and things of that nature, don't think I'm coming from some place like I'm trying to lead people to believe that I'm some holy rolling type of person. I am a believer in a higher power. I am a believer and a follower of great men and great teachers and a believer in the prophets and what they taught. But I ain't trying to talk like, I don't want y'all to think I'm up here trying to be some holy roller. But I do mention scripture because I stand on what I stand on. So back to my point. My point is that God himself speaks about his own enemies. And he speaks about the feelings that he has towards his own enemies. He also speaks about our enemies from time to time in those scriptures as well. One of the things that, also, let me say this. I say God speaks about his enemies, but to be more specific, there are several points where God speaks about what he was going to do to his enemies when the time came, or if this or if that. One of the scriptures that stood out is in Deuteronomy. It says, it says, when you go to war against your enemies, etc., etc., etc. When you go to war against your enemies, say God will be with you. He'll be with you when you go to war against your enemies. Now, of course, this constitutes you being in the right. I'm not talking about you being that one who's actively opposing somebody and you in the wrong. You just trying to destroy somebody. You coming from an evil point of view. No, he's not going to be with you. But if you're on the other side of that, you're not the aggressor, and you're fighting in defense of yourself and and what you have, then he'll be with you against your enemies. So if the God himself is going to be with you against your enemies, how does it make sense to say to love the enemy? I'm going to love them while God is destroying them for me? It's kind of confusing. Deidre Hudson came right in and just answered the question. No, we should not. Now think about this. Think about this for a second. We've seen situations in courtrooms, right, where there have been people who have murdered people, and their family members are in the courtroom during the trial of the murderer. And too many times we see people that will stand in the courtroom and they will talk about the person who just killed their mama, killed their child, or whatever it is, and they'll stand, I'm just going to let you know I forgive you, and I'm praying that God will have mercy on you. And well, it's context to everything. If you steal $20 out my wallet, it might come a time where I might go, well, hey man, I forgive you, man. And I'm gonna pray that God be with you, man. You know, I forgive you. No hard feelings. I might feel that way if you snuck $20 out my wallet later on down the line. I might get over it. I'm not gonna feel that way if you murdered my son. Just not. Not gonna feel that way if you're a police officer busted in the house and shot my uncle while he was minding his own business in his own house. And not gonna feel that way about you. Not gonna feel that way if you pulled my cousin over and then you choked him out for no reason. I'm not gonna feel you an enemy to me. I want the same thing for you. I can't love that. But there are people who sit in those courtrooms and they say that. But in my opinion, These are people who have been conditioned and put in a slave mind because of the misinterpretation of certain scriptures to say, well, hey man, yeah, you just love, no matter what somebody do to you, just love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. Love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. It's levels to it. I understand. It doesn't mean that everybody that wrongs you is your enemy. It doesn't mean that everybody who may have actively done something is your enemy. It's levels. So don't get it twisted. I don't want y'all to feel like this, oh man, well, yeah, man, such said, I'm dumb. Oh, he my enemy. He might have a point. But it's levels. Depends on the level of enemiology that they're practicing. I just made that word up. That is not a real word. Please. That's not a real word. So to tell people to love their enemy, man, it goes against your nature. It goes against your nature. Turn the other cheek goes against your nature. It's impossible. What would be the first thing that your mind would, what would be the first thought that would enter your mind if you were standing in line at Chick-fil-A and all of a sudden the dude behind you that you don't even know just licks the back of his hand and slaps you on the back of your neck, just pow, and busts out laughing after he do it? What would the first thought? I'm not even asking you what you would do. I want to know what your first instinctive reaction would be. Be honest. Not sure, not saying that happens at Chick-fil-A, Jimmy. That just came to my mind. You know, my mind be all over the place. But what would your first thought be? What would it be? I'm just waiting. Reading. Just reading. And it don't mean it's what you would do. So Jado said, grab the tool. Grandmaster Rodiman said it would be, oh, hell no. This dude wants to die today. See? Your first thought is to react with the same force. I'm coming right back with the same or greater force towards whoever did that, right? That's what your first thought is. Your first thought ain't to go, oh, well, he hit me on the back of the neck. Let me lean my head forward and see if he want to smack me upside my head too. Turn the other cheek. That's right, Join Ramo. Your first thought is eye for an eye. Let me turn around and see if he wanna. Let me spread my arms out and see if he wanna punch me in my chest now. Don't make sense. It don't make sense. So don't lie to yourself and don't lie to us. And don't try to teach that to us. Don't teach that to us to say, well, you should. See, that's slave teaching. They used to tell the slaves that. If a man smacks you on the cheek, turn around and give him the other one. See, here it is in the scripture. But I can show you other scriptures that say the opposite. So what's what? Remind me to not do that with my hands no more, y'all. So let's dispel that thought of loving our enemy and that that type of teaching that causes us to be made docile. He's hostile, you docile. It's caused us to be made passive and weak because we feel as though we are not being good Christians, or we're disappointing God and Jesus if we react or we match force with force. That's a trick. That's a trick. Jesus Christ himself would not let you slap him. Don't get caught up in those little movies and cartoons where they got white Jesus up there going, that's okay. I'm fine. Please forgive them. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. There's also a very popular saying that people like to say. They like to say, keep your enemies close. Do you believe in that statement? Because it's been popularized through rap music and through movies and pop culture over the years. And I think a lot of people quote that not really understanding it themselves, or it just sounds good, or it sounds like it's some clever, wise way to keep to stay one step ahead of your enemies and all that. So, oh man, keep your enemies close. Who believes in keep your enemies close? If you do, say yes. If you don't, say no. If you believe that it's wise to keep your enemies close, say yes. If you don't, say no. This is all granting that we have full recognition of who our enemies are, right? So now I'm looking. Jado say not in all cases. OG Critic says hell no. Jado says nah. Stacy R says no. Dollar Bill says hell no. Tyler, no way. Getting a lot of no ways. No's. No. Okay, so where's all the people that said keep your enemies close? Who made that up? Is there a scripture that says this in a different way, and we just remixed it into hood terminology? Because who is the inventor of that term, keep your enemies close? Let me say this. Because while in a physical sense, I'm with y'all. No. You know, keep your enemies close. If there's somebody that you know who don't, and I'm talking about, because naturally you're not gonna have people around you that just y'all don't even rock with each other, period. And you're not gonna have them close. You know these people are out to get you, your enemies or whatever. Naturally, you're not gonna have those people around. But that term also it represents what I spoke about earlier. Those people in your circle, the enemy that you do know, and then it's like, wait, man, keep your enemies close. I need to know how they moving and what they doing, and I still don't agree with it, but I think that's more so who they mean. Somebody knows better, they can correct me. I have no problem, but I'm pretty certain that they mean like the ones you do know, that enemy that you do know, that partner that been messing over you all this time, and you know it, but you just ain't revealed it and popped it on him yet. So you keeping a close eye until the right time or whatever. But where I will say that you should keep your enemies close, this is what I want y'all to understand. Let me teach y'all. Keep your enemies close in your thoughts. keep them close in your mind. Have them on your mind, not to the point where they consume your every thought, because I'm not going to let an enemy deter me or distract me from living my life and enjoying my life. But keep your enemies close in terms of being aware and being cognizant of their existence, not slacking on the existence of them, and not slacking in thought of the potential maneuvering of an enemy. That's how you keep your enemies close. Understand that. But to have people shoulder to shoulder with you that could take you out at any minute, that's foolish. No, I'm just gonna keep them close to me, so I'll know. No. But if I don't keep him close to me, he could come out of nowhere. No. So understand the difference and understand the layers of certain terms when we hear them. And again, I said some people love their enemy because they don't know that the person is their enemy. You didn't know that your own brother hated you. You was on some Cain and Abel type stuff. You know, you didn't even know that your own brother wished you was dead. You didn't even know, baby girl, you didn't know that your husband had took out a life insurance policy on you and he was setting you up, trying to get you bumped off. He trying to create certain. He don't even want you around no more. You didn't know, so you were still loving on him. You didn't know that baby girl was having meetings with a hitman to try to pay somebody to have you killed. You didn't know, so you was loving that enemy unknowingly, ignorantly. The difference. Now, two more things. I ain't gonna stay on here long, y'all, because my back is hurting. It's gonna be my last time saying it. My back is hurting. Two more things. Number one, there's a super enemy. Super enemy. I've been talking about the enemies that we interact with, just on eye level, the everyday enemies that we Sun Tzu, Art of War came up with that. You know, everybody who read Art of War, they thought they were like the smartest people in the world, Miami. Yeah, see, man, in Art of War, Sun Tzu says. Oh, so Sun Tzu came up with that. Okay. He would need to really explain if he's speaking from a physical level. Or somebody may know. Who knows? Y'all can teach me something. But there's a bigger enemy, man. This is the enemy who creates laws to disenfranchise people. This is the enemy who enslaves entire races of people. This is an enemy who carries out wars on weaker nations in order to steal their resources and overthrow them and establish dominance over the world. This is an enemy who destroys us with through chemical means, chemical warfare. This is an enemy who puts out police forces that are specifically geared towards certain individuals, certain people, to police their neighborhoods in militarized ways, all because of who these people are. These are enemies who create conditions that the people who are placed in those conditions can never come out of those conditions. These are enemies who will slander the name of God, will rape the word of God, and will present themselves to be God, all at the same time, to deceive you and remove you from God, from the real God. That's an enemy. And in most cases, that enemy is unseen, and that enemy is so deceptive that they are undetected and unrecognizable to the person who's being victimized by that enemy. That enemy is unrecognizable to the point where we love that enemy. We love them so much, we vote for them to be our presidents. Presidents with an S, because it's more than one. It's been more than one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something, Dollar Bill. That's the enemy that, look, this enemy that I just mentioned, this enemy is so cold that he will make you think that the only friend you got is the enemy to you. That's how cold this enemy is. He'll make you believe that your friend is the enemy when he's the enemy all along. Or the person who is here to save you, the one that's here to remove you from him, he'll make you turn on him. That's an enemy. All while not even recognizing that he's that. But when you do see it, like a lot of the young people are starting to see it, a lot of the older people are not really seeing it. We still kind of caught up in our ways, and it's the younger people. Like a few weeks ago, people were saying, man, what do you think about the protests at the colleges? And I didn't know nothing about them. I was like, what's going on? I wasn't up on it. And then when I saw, oh, okay, these are the young people. They're recognizing a lot of times who their own government is. It's like, whoa. But it's always been like that, because the government will lie and deceive. The government is the biggest enemy. The government will lie and deceive, right? And they will make the public believe the lie in order to justify whatever it is they're getting ready to do. So now you'll be at work in your little circles, you'll be hanging out with friends and it's social circles and having the conversations, having little political conversations and things of that nature. And you find yourself getting into arguments, almost fights, with coworkers and friends and family members behind differences that y'all have in government policies and ideologies and things like that. Y'all start having differences of opinions, almost to where it escalates into now y'all are becoming enemies, because it's always that one that's been snared in and tricked into believing that the things that this government does is justifiable, because the presentation through the mouth of that lying politician, through the mouth of those lying media members, that presentation through the mouth of their representatives in their staff, or whoever steps out and speaks on behalf of them, that presentation tricks a lot of us. So now we start to re-quote and repeat the same talking points you hear on CNN and Fox and MSNBC, and even all the way down to certain YouTube channels, people who have platforms. They're not members of mainstream media, but they have big platforms and big followings, and they leading you straight into the fire. They lead you straight into the fire, and you fighting tooth and nail because you believe in it. But then it's always some that one day they kind of wake up and like, oh man, I was bad, this dude. But Satan would deceive the whole world, right? They said Satan would deceive the whole world. The Holy Quran even said that Satan would be in God's straight path. Meaning you on the path of religion, you on the right path, you thinking you good. There's no way Satan is in the straight path, but he's standing right there, chilling. He right there. He's in God's straight path. That means he all in the church, he in the mosque, he's in religion. So it's so many twists and turns. It's like a movie with a bunch of different plot twists. There's so many twists and turns that you have to really be in tune to recognize who these enemies are. But that big enemy that I'm talking about now, that's the umbrella, that's the canopy, that's the giant canopy that everything else falls up under. Everything I said up under that is lightweight, but it all trickles down from that big umbrella, which is that real dragon, that real beast that's deceiving the whole world. The whole world, everybody got bit. Now, the last one is a little tricky because I said it was two more, remember? The last one is a little tricky because we were talking about loving enemies, loving our enemies, right? You have the enemy of self, the internal enemy, the enemy within, the one that's in here and in here, this one. You are the one who, by definition, I read the definition at the beginning. Now we are the ones who, by definition, who are actively opposing or hostile towards someone, ourselves. It's us. We are own. You heard the term, man, we are our own worst enemy. That doesn't just apply to, like when we speak as a people, we'll hear black people will say that. We'll say that about us, man, black people, man, we are our own worst enemy. And that's true. That's true. There's truth in that. But that's from a collective point of view. But from an individual point of view, we are our own worst enemy at times, because we will bow down to our lower selves in a heartbeat. Whatever category of lower self that we sit in, whatever department we work for. Some people work in the shipping department. Some people work in human resources. Some people work, they're the executives. They work in management. Some people on the ground. They in the warehouse. Whatever department that you work in, as far as that self-hate that you have, whatever your vice is. If you run around here freaking and pimping and hoeing, and that's your department. If we running around here smoking and drinking ourselves to death, snorting and sniffing, popping pills and injecting ourselves to death, that's our department. If we run around here eating ourselves to death, you're in love with food, bad food, and eating pig and eating 3 times a day and 6 times a day, whatever it is, that's the department you're in. You are enemy to yourself based on the way we treat ourselves. And we're loving that enemy. We're loving the enemy of our lower self. Because we're feeding into it. We keep doing it. We enjoy it. So we're loving that enemy. So this title it's a lot broader than what it was appearing to be on the surface. So now we got to fight an enemy within, master an enemy within, even all the way down to the another department, the drama, the envy, the hatred of others for no reason, the slandering, always got something bad to say, always talking about people, and all of that. That's an enemy that lives inside of us. And we love that enemy because our eyes light up when somebody got some gossip, when somebody got something negative to say about somebody, whether you know them or not. Our eyes like, oh yeah, man. Yeah. See, I seen him the other day too. Yeah, I remember that time he. See, we love to do that. Killing that enemy is going, nah, man. I ain't got nothing to do with that, man. I ain't got nothing against that that person, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna catch y'all later. I don't want to talk about that. So it's an enemy within that you got to kill. See? Ain't nobody else doing it to you either. Ain't nobody else making you eat all that crap that you eat that's making you sick. They got you around here with diabetes and high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney failure. Ain't nobody making us do that. All right, man. Now let me read what y'all talking about. I ran my mouth and I got everything out, man. I got everything out that I had in my little notes. Let me read y'all's comments. I'm gonna go up this time. I'm gonna go from the most current and go up this time. Phantom Face says, I know I'm my worst enemy. I think all of us are. Because to me, that's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about knowledge of self. Because in my opinion, in my untrained opinion, when I hear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings on knowledge of self, what it means to me is, okay, if we master self, that covers everything outside of us. That covers everything outside of us, because now we know how to control our vices. We know how to have discipline over ourselves. We know how to think and when to think, what to say, when to say, how to move, how to react, to recognize why things on the outside of us are happening. We know our history. We know all these different things. And so now the understanding is different of why it is. Okay, well, I know why this person does this. I know why they do this. I know why this is happening from a historical, from a scriptural, from a prophetic. You know, you can, all that to me is encompassed in knowledge of self. But not having that, or not having a high degree of it, and just being super, 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 super low vibrational, it will make us be our own worst enemy. Is that Quana James? The best way to protect others is to protect yourself. Yeah, what they tell you to do on the airplane and with the oxygen mask. They tell you put your mask on first, right? How you gonna help somebody if you can't breathe? SB says people are jealous of God's chosen ones, the divine ones. We have doppelgangers, copycats among us, trying to be us and trying to take us out, but are the complete opposite of us. The enemy. These are the real enemies that I spoke about earlier. The ones who have made an attempt to steal the birthright of God's chosen people, like you just said. The imposters. But again, you can't acknowledge an enemy that you don't recognize. So the power that they have puts them in positions to, again, present, to put out the presentation that they are who they say they are, and make us believe that they are who they say they are. So that's a good point. I'm going up this time, y'all. D said in the last 400 years, has Black people in America been able to sit back and assess what has happened to us at any given point, moment in time? Yeah, groups of Black people have, absolutely. See, we call slavery the Black Holocaust. We know what's been done to us to certain degrees, certain levels. And there are groups of us who have addressed these things extensively over the years, a lot of times only to fall on deaf ears, or to fall on ears that wasn't deaf, but they just covered them. They fell on deaf ears, and it fell on covered ears, like, I don't want to hear it. Or it fell on, let me sit up, y'all. It fell on ears of people who mocked and ridiculed the truth. Because again, like I say, they either have been deceived or they are the deceivers themselves. So yeah, plenty of groups, plenty of people, plenty of individuals have risen up. We know about Marcus Garvey. We know about Noble Drew Ali. We know about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We know about his teacher, Master Farad Muhammad. We know about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We know about Malcolm and Martin Luther King and Stokely Carmichael. I'm just rattling off people's names. We know about people who have made these attempts and are still making these attempts to bring attention to our plight and to implore us to get into the fight. 2.0 says, how do we love a stranger? I kind of thought about the title, K. I do not speak to people who hate or actively maneuver in hatred on the daily. I try to be peaceful with all people, but it's very difficult. I mean, yeah, you're supposed to move in peace. You're not the aggressor, you know. You move in peace. But the minute that a person shows himself to be an aggressor towards you or an enemy towards you, then you move in a different way. You defend yourself in word or action. Going up. I'm going up, y'all. I'm going up. Analysts, what's up, analysts? 2G in the building. I'm going up. Brian Swerbell says, why be jealous of another? When you're jealous or envious of another person, I like to really go envious. Jealousy is a natural emotion that has a justified place in certain situations, but that's another story. But it can also be a form of insecurity in certain situations. Envy can be a form of just a person who doesn't believe in their own God-given gifts and abilities. Analyst says it's spiritual warfare. To serve others is serving the self. Absolutely. To serve others is serving the self, but we still have to cultivate things inside of us to get ourselves right. Because it's a lot of charitable people in the world, a lot of people who are selfless, who do a lot of good things for others, but they are hurting inside. They're messed up inside. They're internally conflicted. They're depressed, miserable, sick. They have drug problems, depression, you know, so, but they still do the work. They still have love for the people and others, but you still got to self-serve as well. You have to self-heal as well. Jay Muhammad, what's going on, my brother? Brother Jay, what you say? Greetings, bro. No, we should not love our enemies. We should do the shadow work to heal. Come on now. Being holy is hard. Being evil is easy. That's true. We live in an evil world. We live in a world that's founded on evil. So there are more evil options than there are holy options. When you look this way, the up, down, left, right, it's more evil. So the holy is the needle that's in the haystack. The evil is the hay. Appreciate the love, Jimmy. Mr. Urban World says, I'm trying to reach the point where I live off of compound interest so I can isolate myself from that energy and find a paradise somewhere in this world. I mean, well, I don't believe that you can try to isolate, but like I said, evil is everywhere. And what we don't want to do, we don't want to become people who are just desensitized to the totality of other people's struggles and problems. You know, we should want to be in the fight. We should want to be in the fight. So if I can separate myself and get myself into a good place and I just move out the way, then I'm not being a service to somebody who I can maybe teach to get like I got. I'm going up, y'all, reading comments. I hope I covered everything, man. Hold on, I don't want to get no conversation that y'all was having. Hey, man, y'all click that like button. Give me 8 more likes, man. Let's get to 100. Let's get to a nice round number. If y'all haven't hit the like button, hit it now. And subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on. Y'all got me? But if you haven't clicked that like, we need 8 more likes just to touch that 100, man. I don't like getting this close. We're a small, humble community. We're not getting 5,000, 10,000 likes, but we get close to that. We want to get that 100. We're a small and humble, yet proud little community. Thank y'all. I know sometimes you forget to click the like. It's all good. Stacy R said brainwashing. 9 across your head says they running the script. Paul Sample says the experiment. Yeah, man. Go listen to that song. I'm reading y'all's comments. I'm just looking. Thoughts on Cornel West running for president? Short bus. I'm not gonna disrespect. I'm definitely not gonna disrespect an OG elder like Cornel West, who's done so much for Black people, more than a lot of people who complain about what Black people ain't doing. He's done 1,000 times more than a lot of people. We don't always have to agree on everything. I don't think that I don't think that anyone's going to be able to sit in the seat of president of the United States in this country and make a difference in the world, because in this world, the president don't run nothing. He don't, man. The president is a figurehead. This nation is run by a shadow government, and there's individuals behind the scenes who call the shots in terms of what can really go down. The little things that a president can sign off on or pass here and there, okay, that's cool. That's dog and pony show type stuff. But especially a Black man is not gonna have no juice, to save this sinking ship. So, more power to him, but I don't think that that's the way. But that's me. I'm still reading a few more comments, man. D says, so because of the situation that we are in, I do everything in my power to turn the other cheek to my brother and sister, and it's eye for. Why are you doing everything in your power to turn the other cheek? The only thing I can give close to that, excuse the blurriness for whatever reason, that I would describe, I guess I can't describe. Moving away from a situation before it happens, if you can. That would be the closest thing that I would give somebody to say, well, he turned. Now, he recognized or she recognized what seemingly was coming. They finna start acting stupid. You know how you be at the club when you're young compared to when you was at the club when you was older? When you at the club when you're young and the fight break out, you go towards the fight. You want to see the fight. When you older and you at the club, you walk in the other direction as soon as you hear somebody arguing. Total different mindset. So if I know that this particular person who don't really rock with me, this person was always envious or always seemed to be trying to plot against me, might have been my cousin or something, who knows, whoever it was, if I know this person is going to be at the family gathering, my version of turning the other cheek might be, I'm not going because I know he's going to be there. Or I'll go when they call me and say he left, then I'll stop by and holler at grandmama. That's the closest I can give you, because you're trying to not even put yourself in positions to have to go eye for eye. And that's just me. Financial enemies. Phantom face, that's a great point. Financial enemies. That all falls under that umbrella, that oppressive umbrella that's in control of it all. Because they have the ability to block opportunities to a large degree. Now, many of us slip through the cracks and still find a way to get it done, and hopefully we're not self-righteous enough to go, well, hey man, look, if I did it, there's no excuse. Yeah, true indeed, but everybody's road is different. But there are people who absolutely become our financial enemies because they are the ones who blocked financial literacy from us in the first place. They're the ones who blocked literacy, literally, from us. Black Zeus 24 says, I realized after 30 years, if the devil can work through others, he'll try and work through you. In the way God worked through people, he can also work through you. Be God's tool. Come on, man. It's all about who you open yourself up to be used by. That's what I got out of your comment. You know, in the church, they say, let him use you. It's all about who, that's the key. That's a beautiful comment. It's all about who you choose to let yourself be used by. Weston Bailey, I wonder if Weston is still in here. Weston Bailey says, yes, we should love our enemies. I would love for you to give me some examples of why we should. Because I mean, you're the first one. I'm interested because you're the first person that I've seen that said, yeah, we should. So I respect your I want to say bravery. I respect that you would stand on what you say. But I would like to know why, just out of curiosity. So if Weston Bailey is still in the chat, why should we love our enemies? Why? Keith Murphy say, I work at Walmart. I know all about watching out for enemies. Man, you can do Walmart like that. I'm going up, y'all. I'm not going down. I'm going to go back down in a minute, though. All right, now I'm going back down. Marco Polo Vision is in the building, man. What's up, Marco? Hold on, man. I just saw you, Marco. Where are you at? Where did you go? I just saw you. I just saw you, Marco. Hold on, I'm gonna find you, my brother. But if you're still in here, Letitia's third eye point of view, salute. I appreciate the love. Letitia, I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. I'm looking for the homie Marco Polo. I just saw him. I saw him. I was scrolling. It went by fast. There he is right there. Marco says we got to forgive our enemies to a certain extent, enough to not let them live rent-free in our head, and so we can heal. Key word, key part of that, a certain extent. I don't say the word enemies to forgive. I would say people who may have wronged me, but I wouldn't consider them to be my enemies. If I consider you to be my enemy, I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. I do agree with the living rent free, and because that's what I was saying earlier. Like some people have this thing where they just never let it go. I can be aware, but I'm not going to spend my life consumed by an enemy or even somebody who just may have wronged me. You know, at some point, you got to move forward. On another note, Marco, did you send the email? I'm all off. I'm off the topic. I'm gonna get back on because I don't like when people get off topic on me. I don't want to do it to my own self. But let me know if you sent the email. LeBeau says, ask this question to the Palestinians. Woo! Woo! I think we would be hard pressed to find some Palestinians who would say, yes, we love our enemy. Because their whole existence has been uprooted. See, we can't fathom that. We're not able to fathom the thought of everything we do right now, the way we move, getting up, going to work, going to school, let's go get something to eat, hang out at the park. Oh, wow, let's go to the studio. Let's go record some music. Let's lay around and watch TV all day. All of that has been uprooted because civilians have been severely affected by this whole conflict, this whole attack. Civilians uprooted, lives, families, men, women, and babies. Nobody is exempt. The same buildings that you lived in and worked out of, they're rubble now. They're destroyed. We can't fathom that. We over here in good old America just living our life like it's golden. But if that was the case over here, see, now we talking about recent. We talking about something that we can click on the news and see right now. We can see footage. How would those people react if you asked them about the individuals who had carried out those acts towards them? What would be their thought? Would it be love? Or does it go back to what I said earlier on when I said, what is your natural instinct if somebody that just walks up to you and just smacks you upside the head hard as they can? What's your first thought? Is it to love and say, oh man, I'm sorry that I put my head in the way of your hand? Or is it to go to work? Same with us as Black people. Only difference is the physical act of slavery is centuries removed. We're centuries removed from the physical act. But the other effects, the mental, the psychological effects, the epigenetics of it, the DNA is still present today. So we don't really look at it as fresh because we're so many generations removed from what I just said, that there are generations who don't even factor in or fathom that even happened or even care. So how should we feel about those enemies? Excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna say it one time. My back is messed up bad. I can't move. My back is really messed up. I knew I said I wasn't gonna say it no more, but every time it tweaks, I really can't really stand up. I really can't stand up. If I stood up right now, it would probably take me 1 minute and 17 seconds just to stand up. But I'll be all right. Blank Save says, how do you deal with people talking crap about you? You don't. What you mean? What do you mean? If If a person is talking crap about you, that's not even your problem. That's their problem. Now, let's just say something they're saying about you might be true. Just say it might be true what they're saying about you. Still, so what? What would you stand to gain by going back and forth with somebody? That would be like me going back and forth with somebody in a comment section on the internet because they said one of my songs was trash. And I'm going back and forth, man, my song ain't trash. Man, you hating. Well, pull up then. Come on, man. Nah, bro. You live your life, man. Work on improving yourself. Work on getting better as a person, and you'll elevate beyond anybody. You won't even be able to hear. There's not an individual that ever walked this earth of any consequence, some of the greatest of the greats, that somebody didn't have something bad to say about. I don't care who you name. I don't care who you name, past, present, or future. It's somebody that ain't even born yet that's going to be great. There's somebody that ain't even born yet going to have something negative to say about. Think about that. I don't care if you are a prophet of God. They had something negative to say about them. I don't care if you sold 82 million records in the world. Michael Jackson had enemies, had people that didn't like him. It ain't because they said he was doing what he was doing with you. They didn't like him before that. That was just a setup to justify. A lot of it had to do with, oh man, Mike waking people up. And Mike got too much influence. So you can't be in your feelings behind somebody having something negative to say about you, bro. You just make sure that you're not doing things to justify. Now, if you're doing wrong towards people and they talking crap about you, then it might be justified. Like, man, no, dude, you're a horrible person. And I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying make sure that if somebody's talking about you, then okay, that's their problem. That's on them. But don't worry about it. Because guess what? You can't stop it anyway. Can't police nobody's mouth. I cannot police nobody's mouth. Some dude live in Iowa somewhere. I can't control what he say about me. I can't control what he think about me. You can control what you think about yourself and how you move. Hey, man, y'all drop y'all locations, man. Let me shout y'all out before I go. Drop your locations. I got to go doctor on my back, man. I got to go do something. I got to go do something. Drop y'all locations, man. I want to shout all y'all out. I appreciate y'all coming through, too, man. Hit that like button again if you haven't already. If you haven't already. Laverne Lowe, I see you. Jab Bad, I see you. Let me shout y'all out, man. Y'all drop y'all locations. D. Thomas Williamson, I ain't running for no president. I would never want that seat. Unknown OG, what's going on, my brother? Lady Trill, salute. Just watching vid says originally from North Houston, but listening from North Austin. You staying on the north, huh? Let me get these shout outs, man. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. This moving kind of weird on me. I see you, Miami. Miami. I was looking for a comment that I missed. The homie Halfstein, man. Ain't seen you in a while. Blessed to you, Homelander. Say you're in a rough spot in life, but you're still alive, man. Hey, man, blessing to you, man. May you pull out of that rough spot, brother. We all been through it. Salute to you for having the strength and the courage to acknowledge it. But guess what, man? You're going to get out of it. I believe in you. Tim Osmond in San Antonio. Tyler Horton is in New Hampshire. Big Tiny is in Kemah. What Big Pokey say? I eat shrimps in Kemah before I rock a arena. Laverne Lowe is in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house. Charles Succubus, South Haven, Mississippi. I know my homie Phantom Face is out there in Columbus, Ohio. Phantom Face say, I always hear whatever negativity people got to say about me from a third party. That's how it always goes. They rarely going to tell you straight up. Is that 9? Man, Nutty Cheek. I'm sorry I butchered your name. Sacramento is in the building, man. The homie Haston is out there in Iceland. Iceland in the building. Jimi Hendrix is in Maine. Jimmy Robinson is in Alabama. We go from one Jimmy to another Jimmy, back-to-back Jimmys. Yeah. I see you, LeBeau. Is that KKGDDBJ in the Netherlands? OG Critic in San Marcos, Texas. Where else we at? Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. LeBeau is in Beirut, Lebanon. Red Knox in Cincinnati. 2.0. Most of the time I ignore folks. People are not worthy of time. Usually when people try to start an argument, it's not educated and not holding validity. Agreed? Gotta pick your battles. Too old to be arguing with everybody, man. Energy is just, I just don't have it no more, man. And my back hurt. I ain't taking no medicine, no States. I ain't taking no aspirins and stuff. I don't do that. I don't take no pills and stuff like that. Unless it's some zinc or something like that, vitamin D, some supplement. I don't take no. Bender is in Cypress, Northwest Houston. Death's Head, what's going on? Nine across your head, Memphis, Tennessee. 2.0 out there in Fort Bend County. Line of Judah broke it down. Prince and Michael were both taken out too early, if you ask me. That's right. Michigan representing, man. DJ Rec, y'all subscribe to our sports podcast, Legends 34, along with the Underground Dialogue podcast. We got some dope interviews coming up this week on both podcasts. Both podcasts, we got some dope interviews coming up. L says he is in the Andromeda Galaxy. Bring me some donuts from Andromeda. I heard about them Andromeda cookies and donuts. Jose Cal is in Louisiana, 337. Which one of them 337s you in, man? You know, 337, that cover a whole bunch of little cities, little towns in Louisiana. The Tech Effect out there in Connecticut. Be So Wavy is in Galveston, Texas. Lady Trill, I know where you at. Wharton in the building, man. D. Peace from Chicago to Diego. Brothers and sisters keep bringing it to the table. See how I made that rhyme? Already. Osita, what's up, Osita, out there in Waco? What's going on, Osita? I'm still shouting y'all out before I go, man. Is that Envisage Films, Houston? We should hate our enemies. Yahweh hated his enemy. Go back and watch the whole live. I talked about all that. I talked about all that. Join Ramo 979 in the building. Not 97.9 the box. He ain't talking about that radio station. That's the area code. Remember that. That's Wharton, ain't it? I remember you. I think you the one gave me this topic. Yeah, Jose is in Lafayette. Where can I find your album, A Long Short Way? I gotta get that link. I'll have it for you on the next live. That was a collaborative project I did with my homie Big Pup, so it didn't come out on my label. So I don't remember the link. But you can go to all the digital platforms and find it. If you're looking for physical, then that's a different story. What's up, Declan McCarthy? Last few shout outs. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Yeah, absolutely, man. Good looking out trio. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, man. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. That should have been the first thing I said. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and for all of those who y'all mothers may not be with y'all anymore. You know, still honor your mothers because y'all are a reflection of her. You're here because of her. So blessings to all the mothers out there. J Doe, the 469. Al Pacino, woo, boy, we got some killers coming in. We had Marco Polo up in this thing. Al Pacino is up in here. Man, y'all make me not want to leave, but I gotta go. What up, Amp? Holla at your homie, man. All right, y'all. I think that's it, man. The clock on the wall said that's all, y'all. I'm finna go work on myself. Dollar. I'm gonna hit you up, man. Appreciate the love, Amp. Amp broke bread on the way out the door. Marco, you sent the email? Let me know. I'll check it. Yes, sir. Okay, all good. All right, man. I'll catch y'all later on, man. One love. Peace.